Welcome back. You're still tuned in to Salam Media. Joining us right now is going to be student organizer at UCT for Palestine, Mumimah. She'll be chatting to us a bit about the student encampment that the students of UCT, well, not all students, but pro-Palestine activist students have set up in at the University of Cape Town. Assalamu alaikum, Mumimah. Thank you so much for joining us and welcome to Salam Media.
Assalamu alaikum. Thank you for having me.
I think we've been covering the UJ encampment for the past week, and now we're seeing that UCT you guys have went on to organize a similar type of thing. What was the inspiration for you guys? What made you decide that enough is enough? We're going to take our university to task, and if needs be, we're going to camp outside the grounds of the university and make our voices heard.
Just one quick thing before I start. I think it is Fritz and not
It's Fitz,
UJ who is
yes.
currently in camping
Thank you for
in
that. Yes,
Joburg.
it's Fitz. Yeah.
So we set up things on Wednesday around 5 o'clock. So Wednesday the 15th of May, because that was the 76th year since the Nakba in 1948. So the Nakba is seen as one of the official starts of the Israeli settler occupation of Palestine. So we really wanted to commemorate that space and create an educational and artistic space where students can get together, pro-Palestine students can get together and support each other in moving towards moving towards a decolonial world and university space. And it was there that one of the main demands that we realized is that we do not know to what extent UCT is investing in Israel and Israeli universities, mainly because a lot of that information has been removed from the public or removed from the internet. So one of our demands for this encampment is that UCT disclose all of its investments in the Israeli occupation, whether that be universities or security companies or companies that are explicitly Zionist and involved in the occupation. Besides that, we really wanted to create a space that works towards educating people about what is happening in Palestine and mobilizing people towards engaging with communities, towards action, towards boycotts, because our main goal for this university is to institute a full academic boycott against Israel and Israeli universities. The motion that was initially put forward in Senate had been rejected a few months ago, and we would want that motion to be brought forward into Senate again. But other than that, it's mainly about creating a political space and bringing politics back onto campus.
And I think one of the things that you touch on, which I feel like is very important, is the academic boycott of Israel and its institutions of education. Do you in any way know the extent of the relationship of UCT and Israeli academic institutions when it comes to issues of academia? Just how connected UCT is to Israel? And when you speak of academic boycott in literal terms, what would that look like for you guys?
So, like I said, we would like UCT to disclose its investments in Israel. But according to an article from like 3 or 4 years ago, at that time, UCT had the most academic relationships with Israeli universities out of all public universities on the African continent. So, in terms of South Africa, UCT then accounted for about 26% of academic journals or academic collaborations with researchers, academics, writers from Israeli universities. So at the moment, in terms of engagement from the African continent, UCT is one of the main institutions that engages with Israel on an academic level, whether that be in terms of across faculty. So it could be in the health sciences faculty, in the engineering faculty, in the sciences or humanities faculty. So we don't know in terms of which research papers are being published in collaboration with Israeli academics.
Mm,
And that's something that we would like to have access to, information that we are demanding. But yes, so that is, I think, why it's really important that WITS and UCT students have been putting more pressure onto these universities, because together WITS and UCT account for 50% of Israeli academic collaborations in South Africa. Just these two
mm.
universities account for half of the academic relationships with an apartheid state.
And I want to touch a bit on activities and participation at the encampment itself. What activities are taking place at the encampment? How are they contributing to your goals? And we know just how UCT and VITS also are predominantly white universities, probably Jewish dominated. How is the encampment being received? We've seen in other universities where whenever there's Palestine related activities, security would be heightened. There were also reports of intimidation and the likes. Are you guys experiencing the same thing at UCT?
So, to answer the first part of your question with regards to our programs and activities, so we've been trying to do quite a few things to make the space as educational as possible and as mobilizing as possible. So we've been having regular talks or speeches from Palestinians who are currently in South Africa, so that we can maintain working relationships with these people. Because at the end of the day, if you are trying to help someone, you need to be in collaboration with them, and also to just understand the gravity of the situation that is happening there. So it has been regular informative and emotional situations. But
Mm,
other than that, we have been organizing reading groups, so looking at books or articles on the relationships between Israel, South Africa, or colonization, or just genocides in general. So reading together, trying to understand more about the situation, because if you don't know, you need to learn. If you do know, you need to teach.
mm,
Other than that, we've also been working a lot with creating art. So creating posters to help put up around our campus and to make it a space, but also trying to make art that we can try and share with the broader campus as well as on all of our social medias. And then we've also been having regular mass meetings with people on campus and inviting people on campus. Yesterday, we had a mass meeting with UCT workers on campus, where they
mhm,
spoke to us about UCT's history of outsourcing, because previously, during the Roads Must Fall and Fees Must Fall movements, or the Fall List movements, there was a call for UCT to stop outsourcing security and workers. Previously, UCT had been using G4S
mhm,
to manage security on campus, which is problematic on two fronts. Firstly, G4S is heavily involved in the Israeli occupation. They're part of training Israeli occupation forces. And then secondly, because when UCT outsources the security company, that means that the workers who are on UCT do not get paid livable wages. And then they also don't have access to any employment benefits such as pension, retirement, medical insurance, and so on. So by forcing UCT to maintain its um, internal sourcing of these security or workers or any type of administrative roles, we are ensuring that the people who are helping making sure that this university run and who are integral to this university can live good and well lives.
mhm,
And this helps us to connect the issues of South Africa and the legacies of South African apartheid to the Palestinian cause, to acknowledge that while formally apartheid is over, we are still very much dealing with these consequences. And you can see this in the encampment as well. Something that we are always bringing it back to is this idea that when we talk about South Africa and Palestine's connections, we pretend that South Africa is no longer an apartheid state, but we are still dealing with the ramifications of that. And even looking at UCT, the space, it is still a predominantly white space, despite white people being a minority, because it
Mm-hmm.
is expensive to come to UCT. Fees are between 50 and 100,000 rand a year, while this average South African is earning 28 rand, 30 rand a minimum wage an hour. So it's trying to acknowledge not only the ongoing colonization in Palestine, but also how do we still see colonization in South Africa? Now, to answer the second question, how has it been received? I think that we have received so much support that the opposition has been barely noticeable.
Mm.
So a lot of people have reached out to us about donations, support, especially UCT alumni and academics have been really on board with us. All of the food or blankets or equipment that we have been getting, whatever we don't use, we have been donating to broader communities, or we intend to donate once the encampment is over.
Mm-hmm.
In terms of Zionism or whiteness on campus, nothing drastic has come up yet. However, we are getting a little bit wary because UCT currently has an interdict against any protest or disruptions on campus.
Hmm. Hmm. I want us to take a quick break. When we come back, I want to, touch a bit on, the latter of your response. If there has been any kind of engagement with UCT management, have they received your demands, and, the way forward from there. But I think we'll touch on that a bit after the break.
Discover the Africa of your dreams and surround yourself with her spectacular beauty. Relax beneath her serene sunsets and explore wildlife at its natural best. It's where the pride of Africa comes together. The Kwantu Private Game Reserve. Get to know the Big Five or cruise on an elephant safari game drive. Interact with lion and tiger cubs and enjoy world-class halal cuisine while we pamper you during your 5-star stay. Indulge in the true African experience. For reservations, call now on 042 203 1400 or visit kwantu.co.za. The Kwantu Private Game Reserve, the place of gathering.
Contact Lenasia Livestock and Poultry for all your sadaqah, akika and kurbani requirements. We offer clean, hygienic abattoir style and refrigeration facilities. Sheep, goats and cows are available at competitive market-related prices, direct to the public. We slaughter, slice and distribute in your behalf, but that's not all. Introducing Meat Masters Halal Butchery, our sister company situated on our farm in Lenasia. Unbeatable prices on lamb, beef and chicken. Lenasia Livestock and Poultry. Livestock is our business. We are Sanha approved. Telephone 011 857 1774. Call now.
Elections are near. 2024 is a time to feel the Al Jama'ah effect. Presently, our country faces challenges with corruption and crime being rife, poor service delivery, load shedding, and high unemployment. Al Jama'ah is a platform that unifies communities and provides safety, dignity, honor, and protection to all. We believe in a South Africa where every citizen is employed and where leaders serve the people. You have the power to vote and shape the future. Join the Al Jama'ah effect and let's shape a brighter South Africa together. It is your right to vote. Vote Al Jama'ah. This advert was paid for by the political party.
After the recent attacks on Gaza, many families have been displaced with their homes left destroyed. Through your donations, our teams are on the ground in Gaza, providing support and delivering necessary aid to families affected. The people of Gaza need your help. Give hope. Donate today to Penny Appeal South Africa. www.pennyappeal.org.za 031 1100 573.
We are here on the ground with Penny Appeal organizations in Gaza.
You know, it's a wonder how kids get anything done these days. With all the distractions, when do they even get time to study? As a mother, all I can really do is make sure they have all they need to perform at their best. That's why I choose to include Sunfoil triple refined pure sunflower oil with every meal I make. Naturally cholesterol-free and approved by the Heart and Stroke Foundation as part of a balanced eating plan. So whether I'm cooking, frying or baking, I know every dish will be a wholesome one. Sunfoil, now we're cooking.
Valley's Motor Spares. We supply motor spares and accessories for all makes and models of motor cars, LDVs, buckies, trucks, and earth-moving equipment. We deliver on time, every time. Please contact us via WhatsApp on 014-592-0925 or call 014-592-0925 or visit 28 Zenderling Street, Rustenburg. Remember the name, Valley's Motor Spares.
Connect and stay ahead with Salam Media. This is Salam Media, coming to you live from South Africa.
Welcome back. The time is 8:30 and we're still speaking to Mumimah. She's a UCT student and an organizer at the UCT for Palestine. She's chatting to us about the encampment that the university students have embarked on. Before we went to the break, Mumimah, and thank you so much for sticking around and chatting to us for this long. Before we went to the break, we were talking about engagements with management, UCT management, how they've received, have they received your demands? Are they planning engagements with them? What's the latest when it comes to that front?
So we started encampment with the intention of it being one night only. So the intention was to commemorate the Nakba and to create a space where we could learn about the Nakba and the ongoing occupation. However, when we created the space, we realized how much it was needed and that we wanted to extend it. And that is why we've been having so many mass meetings and educational spaces so that we could find out and consolidate what our demands are. First and foremost, our primary demand is that UCT disclose its investments. So while we haven't handed over these demands formally to the university, we have been working very closely with academics who have been pushing for these in Senate and bringing these motions before council.
And I want us to touch a bit about is there like cross communication between you guys and the guys at VETS and other various institutions? Because I think when you look at the student protests in the US, they seem so organized that it seems there's like cross communication and say this is what we're going to be doing, this is a message that we want to send out. Is the same thing happening here in South Africa? Is there that cross communication, sharing of information and strategies to make sure that your demands are met and your voices are ultimately being heard by these institutions?
So about last week, 2 weeks ago, we had a meeting with VETS right before they started the encampment, and we spoke to them about what were they planning, what are the logistics, and they gave us several ideas or tips on how to run this encampment and how to get organized. They had been closely working with students from the USA and the UK, and we got to sit in on meetings with them as well, which allowed us to sort of anticipate which problems would be arising. I think that the USA and the UK are two different contexts though, in terms of organizing, because those universities have a lot more political, social, and economic investments in the Israeli occupation. So that means that students, they would have had to be a lot more organized. But we have been working really hard here on this side to gather supplies, tents, blankets, and things like that, and basically create the space around education. Our demands should be delivered next week to UCT formally.
And just lastly, before I let you go, on a personal level, how has it been for you being involved, in such, a very, very important and drastic action? I'm sure, you and your colleagues, it must have taken some emotional, psychological toll. How are you dealing with that? And also, I'm sure there's also backlash, from others that might not agree with your stance and how you choose about going, how you choose to go about things.
Yes, so for me personally, this has been a really important space that we have been able to create. In terms of backlash, I think that because the support within the community is so abundant and so amazing, we have been able to just really focus on mobilizing students, around mobilizing alumni, staff, and academics towards this cause and connecting it back to the South African University and to UCT to make our own demands on campus about what do we want a decolonial campus to look like. So I think that it has been a really amazing space to witness, and I'm really proud of all of my comrades for all of their efforts.
No, I think we're going to leave it there, Mumimah. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm sure if there are any other updates, with your engagements, with whatever organization or UCT management, I will definitely bring you back to chat to us. But for now, it's goodbye and all the best. Good luck.
Thank you. Bye bye.
By there's Mumimah. She was coming to us from Cape Town. The UCT students, they embarking on a very, very important measure, organizing an encampment on campus, similar to what the students at WITS have done, just to try and hold their universities, institutions of higher learning accountable. I think sometimes we forget just how influential, these universities are, when it comes to the social, economic, political structures of our country. And I think Mumimah put it so eloquently there, with regards to the universities in the US and in the UK, with just how much influence they have, when it comes to, the current state of affairs of the countries that they are in. And I think it's similar with here in South Africa, the likes of WITS, the likes of UJ, the likes of UCT and Stellenbosch universities. These are countries where, the background of our country's intellectuals and thought leaders and people that control the narrative of the country are educated in and are molded in, and it's important that they're held accountable on the stances that they hold on different issues. And right now, at the pinnacle, the most important of those issues is the issue of Palestine. So kudos to them, and I'm sure other universities here in South Africa will be embarking on similar strategies, and I'm sure we'll be chatting to them also. UJ, we are waiting on you. Stellenbosch University, we're waiting on you. TUT, University of Tshwane, we're waiting on you. University of Limpopo, we're waiting on you. It's time that students in South Africa take a page out of the flawless movement of 2013, and make sure that institutions of higher learning again become a hub of political and social conversations, and also influencing the direction of the country itself. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll be speaking to the Association of Muslim Professionals of South Africa and discussing the issue of whether Muslims should or should not vote. More on that after this.